So, guys, apparently today the Special Investigative Unit has raided the home, the luxurious home of the so called businessman Morgan Maumela, the same guy that has been alleged to be the nephew of Cyril Ramaphosa. And all of this has to do with that 2 billion rand Tembisa hospital scandal. So, I want us to go through this article, and after this article, guys, I'm going to show you what actually happened at the home of Maumela. Man, these people are living nice. These people are living nice. Just look at this house, man. Look at how beautiful this home is. The only kicker is that this home could have actually been built with the money that has been stolen from the state. This is the only sad thing about this home, but it is an absolute stunning house. So this article says that the Special Investigative Unit has raided the luxury Sandton home of a businessman, Hangwani Maumela, seizing high-end vehicles and artwork as part of an 820 million rand asset recovery operation tied to the wholesale looting at Tembisa Hospital. The Thursday morning operation unfolded at Maumela's upmarket home, where law enforcement officials, locksmith, and removal trucks entered under a special tribunal order. Amongst the items taken were Lamborghinis, designer furniture, and valuable works of art believed to have been purchased with proceeds of corrupt hospital contracts. Ngwako Motsieng, Special Investigative Unit Senior Communicator Manager said, quote, the SIU confirms an operation took place at Sandhurst home linked to our Tembisa hospital investigation. This operation is part of implementing the SIU's investigation outcomes and consequence management. We will communicate further once the legal processes has been finalized. The raid supports a 300 million rand forfeiture case targeting Maumela's assets and those of his associates. According to the media reports, the crackdown is part of a broader 820 million rand sweep, reflecting the scale of assets under scrutiny. So now, what is happening is that the media in this country is also reporting this. But what I found a bit strange about SABC is that SABC didn't actually mention this person by name. We are hearing from other outlets that no, this is the home of Hangwani Maumela. But the SABC only said that the Special Investigative Unit is raiding the home of unnamed tycoon in Sandton. And I was sitting there like, man, what kind of reporting is this? What kind of reporting is this? I mean, like, clearly you guys should know the owner of that house. You can't tell us that the Special Investigative Unit is raiding the home of unnamed tycoon in Sandton. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But this is part of what happened there in Sandhurst.
Lamborghini, one of the 3 cars so far, Lopang, that we've seen coming out of this tycoon's 3-story mansion in Sandton, in Sandhurst.
Yeah, what a sight, actually. We've seen many cars stop by to try and figure out what kind of cars these are. Now, we've just seen 3 Lamborghini vehicles being loaded onto this particular truck. So 2 of them are quite small and one seems to be an SUV. All of them in the same color, that blue color that you see there. And those are the 3 cars that have been removed thus far. We'll try and get confirmation if any more luxury vehicles will be seen being removed or seized rather from this property. So Paul, we don't have an official comment, but from SIU rather. But we have somewhat of a line from them where they say this operation is basically part of implementing the Special Investigating Unit's investigation outcomes and consequence management. So they also do say that they'll communicate further once the legal processes have been finalized. And this is word from Ngwako Motsieng, who's the Senior Communications Manager of the Special Investigating Unit. You'd also notice just outside the house, inside, this is now the first time we'd be able to get visuals from this particular house. And our colleague, Qaibin Jokweni, will just give you those visuals rather, Mpho, as well as also just to talk about some of the people who've stopped by here. We've seen quite a number of cars. You'd notice that cars are still making their way past this particular stretch of the road, and it might have been quite easier if this particular part of the road was blocked to make their process smoother. But as things stand, those vehicles have been seized. I'm hoping you can get a clearer visual at this point. We also see some jokes being made by the people inside, where you'd notice quite a smaller vehicle. There we get another visual of those cars. So 3 of the same cars, of the same brand of cars rather. We've confirmed that those are Lamborghinis, all at the same color. Now the SUV, which you might not see, was loaded first, Mpho, is said to have less than 500 kilometers on the clock. That means that car is quite brand new, and so are these other 2. But that SUV particularly is the one where I saw that just under 500 kilometers on that particular vehicle. Not too certain what more they will be bringing out, but as things stand, some of the smaller items have been seized, including some files as we would have seen earlier, and now these luxury vehicles that have just been loaded onto the truck. That is one of the 3 trucks that we are actually seeing at the moment.
So why don't they attach this house too? Why don't they attach this house too? But this is a video that I actually like because it's a bit clearer than that one of SABC, because it looks like the camera of SABC is standing at one place, but it looks like somebody has decided to give us a bit of a tour around this home of Hangwani Maumela. I mean, guys, this is what the politicians are doing in this country. But the politicians in this country, they've actually allowed this chaos to take place so that they can afford things like this. As long as they live in these luxurious homes, as long as they can drive around in these nice cars, they don't care about the consequences of what they do for them to get to that point. This is the sad part about everything else. It is very sad. It is very sad. And you ask yourself that if General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi didn't do that press conference in July, we would still be in the dark about some of these things. We would still be in the dark. And the comrades would have continued to operate with their friends. So now, a 2 billion rand has been stolen from the Tembisa hospital. I mean, if we look at the consequences, how many people have actually suffered as the result of that? How many people have actually died as the result of that? And are these people actually going to be charged for murder? Are they going to be charged for that? This is the question that you would ask yourself. That when we have the people that are looting the hospitals that are used by a majority of the people in this country that happen to be poor black people, and they steal the resources of these hospitals. When they get caught, what happens with them? What happens with them? Or what is it that is supposed to happen with them? Because there are consequences behind people stealing the money that is supposed to go into the healthcare. This is the reason why we still cannot forgive these people that stole the COVID-19 funds. Because the consequences of that were far. The consequences of that, man, were deep. Because we saw people in the ground, we saw people losing their lives. Some of us have lost our relatives to COVID-19. And we only heard later that no, the comrades were pocketing 100 million rands there, they were pocketing 5 million rands there, they were pocketing 100 million rands there. While the people on the ground were suffering, while the people were being told that you cannot go to work. No, you're going to have to lose your job. You're going to have to lose your job. And the government that was supposed to be protecting the citizens of this country, they've actually allowed their own comrades to steal the money that was supposed to help the people. And that's why today there's a post that I made on Twitter that, in South Africa, it's a very funny place. Right now, as we speak, we have the members of parliament that have been accused of corruption. And we have the convicted criminals sitting there asking General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi tough questions about corruption, whereas they are corrupt themselves. But that's why when I look at that ad hoc committee, like it is a joke. it is an absolute joke. It is a joke. But guys, going back to the home of Hangwani Maumela, I want you to pay attention to this video.
We are in Sandton at the SIU raid. What you see here is one part of the house that's currently being raided. I'm going to try and walk as fast as I can or further down to give you an idea of how huge this residential property is. So it starts at that wall that you've just seen. Well, not entirely, but that's where it starts and goes all the way to that other corner. So quite a massive home.
And guys, I saw people on social media trying to paint this as if it is some sort of a win. It is not a win. It is not a win. As long as the person that has done that is still free to do whatever that they want to do, it is not a win. It is not a win because this is what happens in South Africa, man. And this is the saddest part about it, is that the law enforcement in this country, they hardly hold these people, these powerful individuals, accountable for anything. But they will go out and they will attach their assets, they will take their cars, they will take some of their property, but they will never go to them directly. They will never push for these people to actually go behind bars. And to me, that is not accountability. It is not accountability. Or am I wrong, guys? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Please tell me what you think in the comment section. And don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Guys, the next time we will come back with the story with the full details.